What's up? It's Buddah Blessed out here with ProducerCulture. I'm here with the beautiful host, Mimi. She's asked me great questions. We just gave y'all some great lessons. So y'all stay tuned.
Hey y'all, it's Mimi with ProducerCulture, and today we got Buddah Blessed B, known for producing Heat by Chris Brown and Gunna, Out West by Travis Scott, and many, many more. So Buddah, tell us, when did you start producing?
I was like 12 years old. My uncles, they was producing this artist named A+. He used to be signed to Universal and Kedar Massenberg. But like 12, just watching my uncles use free loop, and just, that's when I first started get into it. I always played the keys because I was always in the church, but the mixture of playing the keys and watching my uncle do what he do made me start getting beat like 12, 13.
So is that the DAW that you use for the loops?
Mm-hmm. Fruit Loop. I use Logic sometimes too for a couple of records. But mostly Fruit Loop.
So do you have a musical background? Like, if so, what instruments do you play, and like how old were you when you learned to play them?
I had a keyboard since I was maybe 3. My brother had a drum set, but me and my brother was always the boys who sat behind the church musicians and listened to it. So that's how, I guess you could say, I got my music theory and my music background and stuff like that. Yeah. I play the keys and the organ, but my brother was the drummer, but I always got a chance to get back there and just mess around too because I was around his drum set for so many years. Type thing.
So do you think like having music theory knowledge and like a musical background is important as a producer?
Yeah, it's definitely important. It's important, but it's not important. It's a weird thing because it's like you're feeling, you can't tell somebody what they feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it felt good, or the 808 was unpitched, but it felt good, or this piano key wasn't in scale, but it felt good. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Music theory is a good thing to base off of, but feeling is, another thing. Strongly base yourself off as well.
So did you ever think about taking any other avenues in like the music field, like being an artist, maybe a songwriter?
I write songs all the time. I can't say I have any songs like hit records that songs that were written, but like artists that's upcoming and different things and stuff like that. I do that all the time.
So you do consider yourself a songwriter? Yes,
of course. But making songs is like every day is not. It's just I got every beat in my head every day. Sometimes, I want to rap to one of my beats, or while I'm making the beat, I'll just be humming the flow, or just like, you know what I'm saying, just to hear different artists on it type thing. So that helped me a lot too. We're trying to with the cadence of how, say I'm doing the hi-hats, or the cadence of how I'm doing this, or it's good to just hum or just over my beats. That's what I do.
So what influences your sound as a producer?
Older music. Like when I say older music, like James Brown, Funk Brothers, Motown, stuff like that. Dexter and Wanzel. Quincy Jones, like literally that old music, the instruments they used to use back then, because nowadays we got a bunch of synthesizers and little things that have been and swell, but back then they had nothing but,
actual
instruments. And instead of like going to, let's say, sample it to where I got to give them all this money and stuff like that, I just listen to the sounds they use. They had 3 horns. You could hear they had 3 different horns. They had a French horn, 2 trumpets. They had flute, they had a bass guitar, they had little drums, like my own drum. They had a piano, they had electric piano, and they had a funk guitar instead of electric. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just little different stuff like that. You really listen to the mechanics of what they did. So, like, I try to incorporate that all to myself.
So, have you ever watched Wu-Tang?
Yes, I watched that. You talking about the show?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm caught up.
Okay, so I kind of figured like the way that you was breaking down like those instruments, that kind of how it goes in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so were there any producers that like inspired you at the start of your career?
It's crazy you said Wu-Tang. It was RZA. But really my uncle, he's like, he was my introduction to production. So that kind of started my, that. But man, Dr. Dre was first and foremost. Dre and Kanye, sure. It was Dre first and foremost. I used to like when Kanye made beats, the sound of when he sped it, the sample up, and it had that little chipmunk in it. Oh, you gonna be. That sound, it just locked in on me, and ever since then, Dre and Kanye. And Havoc from my beat too. His beats was crazy.
So now we're getting like an idea of like the artists and the producers that like kind of influence you. So like, what producers do you like working with? Like, what producers do you think like complement your sound?
Other producers? None of y'all niggas compliment my shit. I try cooking up with all of y'all niggas, and y'all ain't giving me no hit yet with the little bass line funk shit. Don't work with y'all. Y'all just gotta be on my shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit. You know what I'm saying? Shit don't work with none of y'all niggas. So I'm on Billboard with one of y'all niggas and one of these motherfuckers. Shit don't work with none of y'all.
So, are there any producers that you don't like working with? Like, nah, that's dead.
I'm gonna say this in a way that's like,
You're gonna be brutally honest.
nah, because that brutally honestly get in this industry, this shit get you fucked over and shit like that. But I'm gonna say this in the way where the person who I did work with, who actually did like working with them sonically, sound wise, I didn't like the business that came afterwards or the things that came afterwards on the situation. I can't say I got in the studio with a person and it was just so, oh, yo, the way you make beats is so shitty. I can't say that, but yeah, I got a situation where I made some records with another producer. You know, I pulled up on them, pulled up to his crib. We made one beat. We chopped it up, just the length.
Sure.
Made one beat, but the one beat I sent to an artist, a big one, on a double. Then the song is like on a double platinum album. So I ain't gonna. But it just after that, funny shit start happening. Like, you know, folks doing the behind the beats thing by themselves and everything.
Didn't invite you?
Yeah, it's a longer thing. Like, folks was around me, like, before they even went to New York. Cause Rap Caviar, you know, all that stuff. So he's, you know, all that breakdown stuff. But he flew to New York and just did that. And it was kind of weird for me. And it was just like, why would you do that? And I'm the one who placed the record and stuff like that. It ain't like I'm no shrimp producer. It ain't like I'm no, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just, I don't know, but you know, folks be a little older in their career, whatever you want to call it. They want to make sure they stay on so they can, you know, a little different. Little funny things to you know, keep their stuff ahead, but it's not really getting ahead. Yeah, y'all stop doing that shit, man. Y'all make beats with somebody, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't get paid more. You know what I'm saying? You don't get paid any more. You know what I'm saying? Standing next to him actually makes you look better, especially when this man goes on to be Buddah blessed be. Like, for real, like they I don't understand it. Like, they can't wait to go shout the rapper out who don't even know him. Can't wait to go tag a rapper who don't even fucking know him. Meanwhile, the producer, the next man, you just making beats with him one day, and you went back to your chilling. You made a beat in 20 minutes. He went back to chilling, and he called you like, "Hey, we on video games. We on this album. We on video games. This is the whole check. Is the whole double platinum album plaque you have. Ways to feed your kids. Like, why would you play?" I said it like that so you know what I'm talking to. I'm sorry, y'all community, y'all know.
It was real specific, but without saying, like.
I know. I hope you keep this too. Like, I'm being specific for a reason because I don't wanna saying names and start dividing people. Like, person who I am, the person that don't start dividing things. I don't want to divide the community, the producer community finally coming together. So I don't want to
definitely not
divide anything with that sucker shit. It's not to be tolerated.
I mean, sometimes you got to speak on stuff like this so that it can help the unity, so that people know like what not to do to break the unity. You know? Yeah, for sure, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just standing next to each other is way bigger and better than like beating each other down.
It's not even beat each other down. It's just like
pushing each other on the way.
Okay. You go do you. You know what I'm saying? It's like a timid thing. Like, people who really be scared to stand next to each other is not secure in their career or where they at or where they stand in their career or where they stand in their money or where they stand in, you know, that's a whole different thing.
So you're often like really vocal, like on social media about like, you know, how you feel about stuff that goes on in the community. Do you feel like you being vocal is like, you know, like helping the community in any way? Like, you feel like that's playing your part in the community? It
is. I feel like it's helping the community, but it's hurting me per se. Because it's like,
feel like you're like a bad guy.
Yeah, it's just like it's always supposed to be like the industry way is just, you know, you walk the fine line and you gotta ruffle any feathers. You know, you do it in court or you do it, you know what I'm saying? You
Right.
do it like that, but going to court, like, I'm gonna take you to court too if I got to, but going to court really don't change the culture of what is right or what is acceptable or what is, you know, like, because nobody see what you in court and was being said and you fighting in court for a year and a half
Right.
about a song, just a song, you know what I'm saying? But to really get out there and be like, you a sucker ass nigga, that shit you did was lame. Stop playing with me. You know what I'm saying? But like, and the thing is artists will get up there and do that and all the time and it'll be received so well. Or be received as or the fans will go to, start supporting the artist like, oh, y'all contract, blah, 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 blah. Even though they signed a bad deal, and that's just something with their label or it's a bad deal. I'm gonna put that in quotation. But the community, like, it gotta be set, it gotta be a standard, like, nah, I'm not playing with that. Don't play with me on that. I'm not going for none of that shit. All that A&R weird shit, y'all gonna come in on this shit. Establish, if you an A&R or you somebody putting a play together, let's establish that beforehand, because when the song come about and then you trying to tell me what you about to take, and then it's like, no, that's not what we doing. You know what I'm saying? It makes everything weird for everybody. It's just being stern, and it's just, I'm broadcasting being stern as a man, one, and then as a producer, just being stern, like, nah, that ain't right. And it's where it be like, well, this nigga crazy. No, that ain't crazy. It's just, and I don't even call it bold. It's just making a new format. Or he's bold because he didn't take shit. Like, no, it's just, no.
You're just being yourself.
Yeah, just being, yeah.